I want to look today at Putin's response to the spiderweb attack and his subsequent uh, inadequacy, really. His failed invasion, his failing economy, the failure of a man himself who has staked his legitimacy on the illusion of Russian strength. He's now trapped in that illusion. And this is not just a war in Ukraine, it's a war against reality. And he is he is in a very real sense in a moment of madness, a very real sense. And he may not, who knows, he may not even be alive. But that's less of the problem than the reality of what he is doing or what is being done in his name. It's not just the war in Ukraine, it's the war against reality. And reality is, as ever, undefeated. On June the 1st, a swarm of cheap Ukrainian drones, some reportedly launched from within Russia itself, destroyed or disabled a number of Russian strategic bombers, MiG-31s, Su-34s, and most embarrassingly, the Tu-95s at the Savoslika and Belaya air bases. And though Kyiv claimed 41 aircraft, even conservative estimates confirm this was the most damaging strike against Russia's long-range air fleet since the war began. The operation, codenamed Spider's Web, was brilliantly but not conceived not only in execution but also in symbolism, and Ukraine hit only military targets. Russia, by contrast, answered with over 800 kamikaze drones hurled at civilian apartment blocks, power substations, hospitals, and the contrast couldn't be starker. One side wages war, the other terrorism. And yet it's Putin who claims that his state is being attacked by terrorists. And for Putin, this is the problem. His bombs cannot erase his embarrassment. Spider's Web was not just a tactical success, it was a strategic humiliation. Unable to retaliate militarily in kind, Putin has turned to the old trick, the spectacle. On the 9th of May, he staged the 80th Victory Day parade in Moscow, boasting of foreign attendees and posturing as the heir to Soviet grandeur, but the optics were threadbare. No G7 leaders. President Xi's present, diplomatically calculated, not heartfelt. And this Kremlin theatre cannot conceal the rot beneath. Putin has failed to take Kyiv, failed to hold Kherson, failed to stop Ukrainian drones from striking his own soil. His only success has been in choreographing televised meetings with hand-picked mothers of soldiers and dressing up a general at safe distance command posts. And even his allies mock the artifice. Russian milli-bloggers call the Ministry of Defense the Department of Camouflage Selfies. Yevgeny Prigozhin's 2023 mutiny was not merely a threat, it was an expose. The emperor was not just naked, he was hiding behind Lukashenko. And then there's the economy. The silent battlefield. Russia's trade with China, its economic lifeline, is crumbling. Today there's even talk about Russia claiming that China is an enemy. In the first 5 months of 2025, trade fell over 8%. Fossil fuel revenues, once yielding €1 billion a day, have collapsed to 600 million euros. Even as Russia pumps more oil, the world pays less. The result, a swelling import bill and a shrinking export income. Exports to Africa have plummeted. Exports to Europe, despite sanctions, are still significant but diminishing. Russia now imports more from Europe than it exports to it. The trade surplus of 2021 has become the deficit of 2025. And the National Wealth Fund, once the symbol of economic prudence, is now a war chest rapidly emptying. From $150 billion, it now stands at $50 billion. At this rate, it could vanish within a year. The Kremlin's options, domestic borrowing, internal debt, the oligarchs made rich under Putin, could soon be asked to buy bonds in a failing war. Yet the Kremlin's strategy remains consistent. Hide the truth, amplify the myth, downplay defeats, exaggerate gains. When Ukraine liberated Kherson, Russian TV skipped over it. When drones hit the Kerch bridge, official channels claimed it was structurally intact. When Ukraine launched an incursion into Kursk Oblast, Putin blamed local governors rather than his generals. In truth, His war aims have been quietly abandoned. He no longer speaks of denazification or Kyiv in 3 days. Instead, he celebrates the capture of minor towns like Solidar as if they were Berlin. Meanwhile, Ukraine builds a drone command, strikes Russian tank columns inside Russia, prepares for deeper incursions. Putin is not an effective wartime leader. That's the reality. He's a relic of autocratic showmanship, governing by photo op, repression, and historical cosplay. He is still the person who holds the handbags, as he was in Berlin. He's sacrificed nearly 1 million Russians to achieve almost nothing. He's not feared, he's ridiculed. His only remaining asset is inertia. Of course it's inertia, he's in a fridge. Western leaders must see through the pomp. Putin's failure is not a matter of hope. It's a matter of record. And the only question now is whether the Russian people and the international community have the courage to recognize that the Tsar has no bombers, no economy, no clothes. He's hiding in the ice.